what's up, everybody? Just wanted to give a shout out to those of you who took the June LSAT and got your scores back today. I hope that you crushed it. Regardless of the outcome, know that your LSAT score does not define you, and you've got this no matter what happens. You can retake. We're looking now ahead towards the August, October, November LSATs. A lot of folks reaching out to me saying, hey, I'm thinking of retaking, or I had postponed from the June LSAT anyway, so what should I do at this point now? So we're speaking now, the end of June. You've got roughly 6 to 7 weeks until the August LSAT. You've got a little over 3 months until the October LSAT. And truth is, they're both totally fine. You can take either one and still apply very early in the cycle. If you're at the point right now where you just kind of want to refine things, maybe brush up on some weak areas, but mostly take full-length timed exams, then August might be your best bet. And then if you have not yet taken the LSAT before, you might also want to do October anyway, just to have another shot, another at-bat to get a potentially higher score. Law schools do not average multiple LSAT scores. They only take the highest one. What that means is that I strongly recommend that everyone applying to law school, unless you got a 180, you may want to consider taking the LSAT a second time if it's not going to put you too late in the cycle. Because whatever the outcome is, law schools will take the higher of the two into consideration when they're doing their calculations with your LSAT score and your GPA. And that the highest LSAT score is the one that goes to the American Bar Association. And so that's the one that goes to US News for the ever important US News rankings. So don't put the pressure on yourself to try and cram it for August. If you think you got to apply the second application's open, even if you got just a point or two more by taking it in October, it's worth waiting because you're still applying very early in the cycle. If you feel like you've already used a lot of the recent practice tests, you can go back into some of the older ones. But the truth is, unless you get perfect 180s on the more recent exams, it's worth redoing those, going over them again, reviewing them in depth. It's important to note that we're changing LSAT formats. The June LSAT Flex was the last Flex 3-section version of the LSAT. The 4-section LSAT begins this August and is going forward for the foreseeable future. What that means is that you're going to have one section of games, one section of logical reasoning, one section of reading comprehension. Those 3 sections are all scored. You're also going to have a 4th unscored experimental section that could be any one of those types. So you might have 2 logic game sections or 2 logical reasonings or 2 reading comprehensions, but only one of those 2 will be scored, and you're not going to know which one it is. What that means is that you're going to have to give your full effort on all 4 sections of the exam. And then later after the fact, you may be able to figure out which one was the unscored experimental section. But because it's not disclosed to you during the exam, you're going to have to give it your full effort, which means that during your practice tests, you're also going to want to do 4-section exams, not 3-section flex versions. If you're using full-length prep tests published by LSAC available in Law Hub, it's pretty easy to do a 4-section exam if you want to make logical reasoning your extra section. This is an artifact of the old days, back when the LSAT used to have 5 sections on test day, 4 of which were scored. 2 of the scored sections were logical reasoning. But now going forward, only 1 of the scored sections is logical reasoning, and then that 4th section, you don't know which one it's going to be. Some people are going to have logic games as their extra section. Some will have a 2nd section of logical reasoning as their experimental section. It's going to vary from person to person, from test to test. Just give them all your full effort and practice with 4 sections during your practice tests to work on your pacing and on your endurance. I've got a lot more information about the 4-section version of the LSAT on the LSAT Unplugged YouTube channel, on the podcast. I also have an FAQ on my website, so feel free to check that out for more. I'll put the link in the description below this video on the YouTube channel after I end this live stream. So anyway, folks, hope you found this useful. Please feel free to reach out if you need anything at all. I'm happy to do whatever I can. You can email me at help@lsatunplugged.com. In the meantime, I wish you all the best and take care. Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I wish you all the best and take care.